Let me ask you about something recently we just heard from the CDC director. He just put out that they are concerned that Thanksgiving gatherings could send coronavirus cases soaring. Do you agree with that?
Oh, I do. I do. And that's really an unfortunate fact that is going to cause, obviously, some concern about everyone who looks forward to the holidays and interacting with family members that they haven't seen in a while. That is unfortunately a risk when you have people coming from out of town, gathering together in an indoor setting. You don't know what the status of it is. It is unfortunate because that's such a sacred part of American tradition, the family gathering around Thanksgiving. But that is a risk.
So what is your advice about Thanksgiving?
I think given the fluid and dynamic nature of what's going on right now in the spread and the uptick of infections, I think people should be very careful and prudent about social gatherings, particularly when members of the family might be at a risk because of their age or their underlying condition. Namely, you may have to bite the bullet and sacrifice that social gathering unless you're pretty certain that the people that you're dealing with are not infected. Either they've been very recently tested or they're living a lifestyle in which they don't have any interaction with anybody except you and your family. Then it's okay. I mean, it's almost like my relationship with my wife. We almost do nothing with anybody else except each other. So I'm not worried about my infecting my wife or my wife infecting me. You take my sister and my brother-in-law, they're the same thing. They almost never go anywhere socially of being in contact with other people. You would say that that kind of a gathering would be really relatively safe. But when you're talking about relatives that are getting on a plane, being exposed in an airport, being exposed in a plane, then walk in the door and say, Happy Thanksgiving, that you have to be careful about.
Yeah. So your Thanksgiving will look different this year?
My Thanksgiving is going to look very different this year. I would love to have it with my children, but my children are in 3 separate states throughout the country. And in order for them to get here, they would all have to go to an airport, get on a plane, travel with public transportation. They themselves, because of their concern for me and my age, have decided they're not going to come home for Thanksgiving, even though all 3 of them want very much to come home for Thanksgiving.